Barbara.
Hello, Bill.
Crampton. Jeff Combs.
What a pleasure, sir.
Stuart. Hello. Pleasure to see you. How are you?
Very well, thanks.
Stuart Gordon. The three of you shared an experience together.
We've shared
Many.
more than one experience.
Well, I only
Yes.
want to
What are you
hear
talking
the
that hotel and
yes, that warm, hot experience. The movie you made, was it an experience?
which one?
Ah, let's see.
Yes.
Well, are we watching Castle Freak?
We're watching Castle Freak, and we're watching several others.
Oh, yeah.
So tell me.
Castle Freak.
Well,
I'm not the castle and I'm not the freak.
no. And neither am I. Who is?
What about Castle Freak? That's a horror film. We're dealing in the horror genre here. Thus, horror is an interesting area to act, to direct, to tell a story in, don't you think?
It is. It's I think the first movies ever made were horror films. You know, we're going back to films like Cabinet of Dr. Caligari and Nosferatu. I mean, people have always loved being scared to death.
And did you study them? Did you look at them?
Oh,
Did you-
sure. Oh,
Yeah?
yeah, absolutely.
Study them, I mean, like, look at them, run the films?
Very, very carefully. And the silent ones are some of the greatest ones.
Yes.
You know, they're fantastic. And then, the Universal horror films, with Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi, and the Hammer films with Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. I mean, they've always been popular. They never go out of style.
And
or
in
fashion.
studying them, you had an ulterior motive.
Well, we had to outdo them all. That was the goal. To go further, as they say in your show, to go beyond
Go
Yes.
where no
the man
one
has
Right.
gone before. That's
And-
right. That's right.
Whereas you've been as horrible as you can possibly be. But how, good, please,
Yeah.
Barbara, go ahead, what
Well,
you
in
say?
working with Stuart, there was something that we always said about him, which is very in keeping with what we're talking about right now. More is not enough. More blood, more scariness,
An actor's credo is less is more.
Yes.
With Stuart, it's more is.
more
More
screaming,
is more.
more.
Let's go into that. More is more. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you doing to us?
Well, I could never understand what that meant. Less is more. I mean, that was one of those things. I guess it's some sort of parable or something. But for me, it's you've got to go beyond what people are used to. You've got to go beyond the boundaries of good taste. You have
You've got to go. You've got to enter the area of bad taste.
Well, I think it's when I go to a movie and I realize that the director is capable of anything, then I get really scared. Because I know that he's not going to play by the rules. He's not going to hold back. He's going to, completely, go for my throat immediately.
Stuart believes in erasing the lines that everybody wants to have established.
Every good castle is haunted. Every good castle has a ghost. And so this castle in Jove has one as well, of a little girl who is heard sometimes at night crying.
Stuart, talk to me about haunting.
Yes. Well,
Do you believe?
I do believe, actually. I do believe that the spirits of those who have passed, do come back to us.
I'm in the category of wanting
Right.
to believe. And a friend of mine actually just recently told me about a story of his house that is haunted, strange things that have happened. He said, I saw this move. I heard squeak, and there this thing had moved. And he described 3 or 4 things that happened in his house that he saw. He felt and saw a dog that reacted. And then he heard about a month later, totally out of the blue, a friend that he hadn't seen in a long time, but had lived in that area, said to a mutual friend, well, doesn't he know that house is haunted? And so that house has a history of being haunted, and my friend who now owns the house was a party to it. And I want to believe, because I love the mystery, I love the fact that the people who've passed on could come back. I love that whole idea.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I've always been looking for those, sort of ghosts, to appear, to become, to materialize, or to hear knocking, or to see things move.
Have you ever seen
And I haven't, I have to say.
Does
But-
it motivate you choosing material?
When we were making Castle Freak, we got a Ouija board, and we tried to contact the ghost of the castle, and we got some pretty strange messages, I recall. First we started talking.
Ouija board's a suspect.
Well, it is suspect, but it was fun. We also, told ghost stories. That was the other thing I remember, a night where we all sat
We
around.
wrote our own stories.
You
and told
assigned
them.
us to write
Yes,
this.
he assigned us. He directed
Was
us.
this part of the fun or part of your directing?
Well, it was part of the fun. It was to get into the mood, because
Yeah.
when you're doing ghost stories, it's kind of fun You know, this was this nice big castle at nighttime, you know, lit only by the fireplace sometimes or candlelight. Could be very spooky. And so we were, you know, it was great, you know, to be there and to really soak up that atmosphere. This wasn't a set. This was a real place.
So you think it could happen, but you've never had an experience?
Well, I have had experiences though, where you know, like when I saw the movie The Sixth Sense, and in that movie they say that the spirits
Is that
come
a
to-
horror film?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they say the spirits come to you in your dreams, and I've had that experience many times where people, you know, that have died suddenly in a dream, and it's always funny in the dream because about halfway through the dream I suddenly realize that the person's dead that I'm talking to, and I'm a little embarrassed to bring it up because I don't want to
Why
make them
wouldn't
feel
that come from
uncomfortable.
your reptilian brain or something?
I don't know, it just seems so real, and it's like when you wake up, I always feel, if it's like a loved one, I always feel good. I always feel like I've really been with that person.
Okay,
So-
I have a story for you.
All right.
I was reading a book on astral projection once. This was like
Astral projection.
like
That's where you
I don't
project
know.
your ass, isn't it?
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
You could do that then, based on the last segment we saw.
Are you projecting your ass right now?
By,
I don't think I
by
am, but-
extension.
And one night I fell asleep, and the whole thing about astral projection is that you need like some vibratory thing happening in your body to like be able to leave your body.
Okay.
Okay.
So you had
now,
a vibrator.
No.
I wasn't gonna say it.
So I was staying in this room with it was my boyfriend's family lived there, and his father had, I don't know if it was his father that was contacting me, but his father had lived in the house and had died maybe like a week before, and I was there for the funeral and everything, and I was staying in the house, and my boyfriend had left early in the morning to go somewhere, and I woke up and I heard this voice in my head saying to me, "You need a higher vibration," and I had just finished reading the book, so
What book?
it was a book on astral projection. I don't remember.
Oh, it was a book on astral vibration, and this voice said, you need a
Need a
higher
projection.
vibration.
Right.
Yes, and I'm telling you, now you're making me laugh. But
Well, humor and horror, and we're into sex as well, so it's all working.
So my body,
mojo is-
no, but my body started to vibrate, and I swear to you, I raised up from my body. You guys, okay, you're not.
No,
believing
no,
it,
we're
but-
taking you absolutely serious. Go ahead, Barbara.
And
We're cutting away from you. You're gonna single on you.
okay, and I looked down, and I'm telling you, I saw my body lying on the bed, and I got freaked out and scared. I dropped back into my body. My hands, my feet were tingling, and I threw the book away. And nothing like that has ever happened to me again. I don't know what it was. It could have been a dream. I don't know, and it could be just some suggestion that I read the book. I don't know what it was, but I feel like I heard that voice in my
Wow.
head so strongly.
Sure.
I'm not saying that I really was doing it. I don't know, but
Well,
that's the
do
closest
you
I've
prefer
ever
to?
come.
Do you prefer to believe
Yeah,
it?
sure, why not?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you have a
it's
choice.
yeah, why
So
not? It's
why
fun.
not believe it?
Yeah.
No, it's not fun. That's not fun. You either believe it or you don't believe it, which is.
I believe that something extraordinary happened to
That's
me.
what I mean.
And I don't know what it was.
What about you? Do you believe it?
I don't know. My only little experience was when I was in college. I rented this room, and things would keep moving around in it, and I was the only one who had a key, and I would like put my car keys, and I would be conscious about it. I would say, my keys are there, okay. And then I would go somewhere and come back into the room, and they wouldn't be there. And I would search around, and I would find them, like I remember distinctly finding them in the cupboard in the kitchen with the glasses. And I'm going,
There's no way.
that's no way that I did
You
that.
remember putting them
Yeah,
there.
because things were
Why?
moving.
Okay, with other things were moving as well?
Yeah, I had a book. There was a Bible that was, it wasn't my Bible. I think it was in there, and it would open. It would stay open. So I would close it, and then I would come back, and the damn thing would be open again with the thing down the middle. And I found a piece of burlap stuck with this red gooey stuff on my door with like sort of a
gooey stuff.
pentagram on it one day, and that wasn't fun.
What do you believe?
I don't know what I believe.
No,
I'm with you.
no,
I'm
no,
with
no,
you.
no.
I think
No.
maybe there's something out there, but we're not meant to know. And we
But
have
what do you
vivid.
believe about what happened? You've been very specific.
Yeah.
So what happened? Is it some guy?
Either
some person
either
in the frat house?
somebody's messing with me, or it was absent-mindedness on my part, even though I felt that I was consciously doing it.
Is there an or?
Although- Huh?
Is there an or? to those two explanations?
or it really happened.
And you can't have it
And I
three
can't
ways.
explain it. And you can't have it three ways.
So which is it?
I guess I'm gonna have it three ways, because I can't make a decision.
You can't have it
No,
three ways.
I-
I want a decision.
I would say then that I'll strike it up to me.
And
That's what
Stuart, do you think what happened there is, could be,
Absolutely, absolutely.
Something that-
What's Shakespeare's line, there are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in your philosophy? You know, that's what the beauty of H.P. Lovecraft, you know, he always said man lives on an island of ignorance, surrounded by all of these things that he's completely unaware of. You know, we know so little, you know, even about our own planet, you know, that, you know, who knows, you know, what's possible. So I don't rule these things out. And, you know, I think you just have to be, keep an open mind and,
that things exist beyond our comprehension?
absolutely.
Things can happen that we are totally unaware
Well, or that we don't understand.
of, that we don't understand.
Yeah,
Elements in our life,
sure.
and that's our basic fear.
Well, it's our basic fear.
And that's what horror films,
Well, I think our basic
and that's
fear.
what horror stories tap into.
But I think it's our basic blessing, too.
Well, I was going to say our basic fear is death, and I think that's what all horror movies are about. And I think that's why people love them so much, is because their way of dealing with that fear, their way of, when you kill the monster at the end of the horror movie, you're somehow defeating death. And I think that that's you know, why we love them so much.
Oh, but I love to be scared. Even when like, the scariest movie I ever saw was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because it looks so real to me. But I enjoy that movie for the feeling that it gives me of being frightened, like in my body. I like that feeling of being scared, and I don't know what that is, but I just enjoy
Some
that.
people do. Thank you very much. Three of you were so
We're
interesting.
done.
Unfortunately, they're running out of film.
Thank you, sir.
Pleasure.
Great.
Thank you.